are just about set here for the final game of the day here on Ransford Oval at the AFL International Cup for 2017. It is the third versus fourth place game in the men's Division 1 between Ireland and the US of A. And it promises to be a great contest. Ireland, of course, they were knocked out of the grand final to be played tomorrow between Papua New Guinea and New Zealand with a kick after the siren in their game on Tuesday against New Zealand. They will be absolutely bitterly disappointed about that, not to be on the big stage tomorrow, and they will no doubt be looking to make amends this afternoon with a win over the US. And of course, the US, they'll be disappointed as well because they had high hopes heading into this tournament, and they've fallen just short of where they were aiming. They were aiming for the big day here tomorrow, and look, they will be no doubt looking to make amends as well. It looks to be, on paper, a pretty even contest between both nations, with the US a number of good performers right throughout the tournament. Max Depine is one who has been very impressive right throughout the competition, as has David Restrepo, while for the Ireland side, one man, and he's a very, very, very big man indeed, Padre Lacey, who has been the dominant force up forward for the Irish with 14 goals, one of the leading goal scorers in the tournament for the competition. And they will no doubt be looking forward to him kicking a bagful again today with the Irish. But the man who's just joined me to my left will certainly not be hoping to. He's still trying to catch his breath from running over from the other oval calling the other game. But he'll be very, very keen to watch his mighty revolution in play today. Speak of the American BT, Brian Barish. Good afternoon.
Hi, Shane. How are you?
I'm good, mate. I'll call the action for the first couple of minutes. That's fine. I'll let you catch your breath.
You're the best.
And get things sorted. But we're underway here to start the final game here, first quarter, and it is the Americans to get it going forward through Jay Levesque. He kicks it up towards half forward now, and the umpires found a free kick going in the not quite sure. He's pointed in the wrong direction to start with, so it will be a free kick to the Irish here, and it'll be going to Jared Walls. So Walls goes out wide to a teammate. Down the line now, trying to get across to meet the ball. There was Ronan Cull, couldn't quite keep it in. And we're going to get a boundary throw in on the far side of the ground. Over where the action has been all afternoon, of course, blustery conditions here at Ransford Oval. All day. We've had a shower as well to start the Division 2 Grand Final, which, for those that didn't see, was won by Croatia in a very big win by over 70 points as the ball was brought back into play, but quickly worked over for a boundary throw-in as the Irish slowly moving the ball forward.
Back in the middle of the ground now on the far side, and the Warriors in the green jumpers, of course, is... Scooter Matheson has joined us on special comments. Hey, Scoot.
G'day, mate. How are you?
Another day in paradise. As there we go. Now let's try it again. How you doing?
Now you can hear the dulcet tones.
We can hear something. Here comes Iz. That one is kicked out of there in a hurry. Knocked away from Lindfeld. Got it on the second bite. Long handball back for Mergen, who will clear the present danger. Just off the hands of Levesque. Going over to get it was Olsen Collins. And then cleared out of there by the Revos, straight in the middle of the ground. Looking in the middle, there was Gleason. And then being held up was Livy. Ball, said the crowd. And indeed, in fact, it is holding the ball. Free kick to the Irish in the personages of Murtagh Condren.
So Condren now up to half forward. And a good strong mark taken there by, that was Barry Murray. And going forward now. High up and under ball and all the way to the goal square. Did he hold the mark? No, he didn't play on, said the umpire. Comes off hands. Out the back there was Ronan Cull. Picks it up. Shot at goal. He's offline. But first score goes to the Irish. They go to one straight behind. USA yet to score. Been playing 2.5 minutes in the first term.
Should be a very interesting game out here on Ransford Oval. The USA and Ireland, very similar sides in terms of stature. The Irish probably with the experience edge. The USA maybe a little bit younger, a little bit more athletic.
And I was going to say the skill's probably a little bit more polished on the Irish side. Out to the far side, Garthwaite. Oh, good spoil there from the number 4 in Muris Bartley, who plays for the University College Cork Bombers. I guess it's with UCC. One of the C's is Cork, something like that. And one of the C's is as opposed to the 3 R's: reading, writing, and rebounding. Ball comes back in the play. No, wait, that was Charles Barkley. As the ball goes back in over the head of Levesque, skips through again, looking for Lindfelt again, and then Johnson was beset upon quickly.
Looked like Joel Selwood.
Yeah, just a little bit. It's that thing on his lip that's about to turn into a butterfly. He comes off the mark, puts that one in, skips into the hand there of McElhone, and then as they bottle it around, looking for Bartley, who couldn't get to it. Oh, good tackle put on by Restrepo, and the ball is going out on the full. Free kick for the Americans. Wing position commentary side.
He's going to be very important for them today, isn't he, Scooter Restrepo?
Restrepo was fantastic up at Montrose on Saturday, just about the difference in that game.
They've turned it over here at half-back, though. The kick forward by Michael Finn is marked in defence there by Jeff Kramer. So Kramer now comes wide, out towards Gartright, who's on the lead, making space. So this is a promising build-up. Numbers are with the US here. Couldn't quite complete the mark. There was Lindfelt. And the ball goes over the boundary line and over for a throw. And as guys, I look out beside me and we have got some dark clouds really starting to roll in. I hope that they are going to miss us here, because otherwise we are going to get very wet.
Darker than a dog's guts out that way, you'd say.
I was going to say it's about as black as Sepp Blatter's soul right out there. And I'll tell you what, Doug Drinkwater, who is one of the officiating coaches up at Essendon Districts, if it rains too hard, that's exactly what we're going to be doing. Ball is on the outer side. Free kick upcoming for the Irish. Sends that one in forward. High up in the air, contest, back in the play off the rebound. Good job by Freeman to set upon him quickly, as so too was Kramer as well. A word about Kramer, he is having a fantastic tournament, really stepped up in the fullback position, the man from the Chicago Swans.
So ball now thrown up, little tap down there by Finn. Tried to find a teammate, but unable to keep the ball in play. And we're going to get a boundary throw in deep into attack for the Irish, and as they lead by one straight behind at this stage.
The Warriors have got their wall set up behind the, behind where the ball is, and the game's almost been entirely played in their attacking half so far.
It's quite early yet.
So ball thrown back into play. Lee with the tap from behind, only as far as Declan Nannery. Play on, says the umpire. The players from Crash in from both sides. A high ball, bouncing. Little tap there from behind was from Lindfelt, was good. Tried to put a player in space in Depina. Now he gets the ball, breaks the tackle, Depina. Now he runs up to half forward. Not a good kick though. Going to be turned over, although it's a cruel bounce there for Barry Murray. So still with Ireland though. Going to ground, eventually the umpire crosses himself and calls for the ball.
Save a horse, ride a warrior. That's what it looked like on that far side. 1-0 the score, Ireland the lead. Third place game of the 2017 International Cup Men's Division 1. Ball goes to ground. Lee digs it out, goes in the middle, all slapped free nicely. And then a flying chance back the other direction. Nice mark. Getting a little bit of air there was the man in Gavin Murray from the South Dublin Swans. Turns with the ball quickly. Goes inside the goal square. There's a give around the corner. Did it get there? Yes, it did. What a great goal by Declan Nannery. Oh, my kingdom for a Nannery, and he kicks a nice roundhouse goal. The man from Powerhouse Football Club. 1-1-7 for Ireland. Revo's yet to score.
And you saw the difference there, that the lead up and mark there by Murray really set that up forward as it drew out the US defenders from the attacking zone and let the midfielders and the half forwards really push forward for Ireland. That's a fantastic start by them.
So the dream start for the Irish. They lead 1-1-7. USA yet to score. Yet to go forward with any real purpose, in fact, of the Revolution. But they'll get their chance now. Back in the middle, it's going to be Lee. Going up in the ruck against the big man from Ireland in Paul O'Halloran. Umpire's found a free kick, and it's going to go the way of the Revos. So it will be advantage paid. Taking it now is Murphy. Inside forward 50 and on the lead. And taking it comfortably is Wilhelm. And he will go back and have a shot about 40 metres out on a slight angle.
Now, Big Jace will remember this. In his first ever game of Aussie Rules football, I chased him around all day telling him he couldn't hand pass, but by crikey, he can kick in this day and age.
That was a long time ago, Scooter.
I'd back him from here.
So Wilhelm now. Big opportunity to get the first on the board for the US. He's kicked 3 already in the tournament. Comes in, kick on its way. It's going across the face. He's not going to add to that tally. So it goes through for one behind. The US now, they go to one straight behind. Ireland 1-1-7. Been playing now for 7.5 minutes first term.
Wilhelm was used primarily in the beginning of this tournament as a ruck, with Donald Lee being played in the middle and doing a fantastic job. He's found the space in the forward line as the ball is put up against the pewter gray skies here in Melbourne, as Linehan was bowled over, as was Garthright, and then Carpenter spilled the footy right to Levy. Big right foot boot into the mixer, just bounces out of the hands there of Dustin Jones and over and out. Again, the score 1-1-7 for Ireland, 1 point for the USA.
Handy result for the US there. They get to set the wall up behind the ball here and give themselves a real chance at an early goal.
One thing that the Americans have been very good at in this tournament, their structures have been very sound, well coached. That is plainly obvious. Ball thrown back into play. Little tap down there. Couldn't take possession was Wilhelm. So ball comes out the back now. Tried to get a kick away, but it was smothered. And again, smothered there was the kick on Johnson. Now comes out for Ireland. Little handball out towards the boundary line by Murius Bartley. Picked up now by Ben Carpenter. Tries to go inside. Wasn't a great kick. Now taken by Dominic Joyce. Tries to find a teammate. Does. That was Nannery. Gave the handball off. Now the kick out wide on the 45, but there's nobody there except for the US.
Releases out to the near side. Johnson ranges over and takes the mark in front of the man in Fogarty. Goes up the wing position looking for Carpenter, but he overcooked the kick. And the mark is taken by the Ireland Warriors, leading 7-1. Wing position, commentary side, little chip over the top. Nice mark in the air taken by Bartley. So Bartley will take a look around. Has options. Now he'll go into the center of the ground, and it's picked off nicely there. And holding it up is Ozen Collins. Also plays for the UCC Bombers. Goes up the right side, high into the air. And it's down into the forward pocket, chasing after it, one-on-one contest, and releasing out the back there was Franco, who throws that one onto the left foot, which is his right foot, continues up the corridor as Gleason goes over and chases with, looked like Patrick Brennan, and the ball is tapped out. Again, the score, 1-1-7 Ireland, 1 point for the USA.
Difficult conditions here at Royal Park. It's quite windy out here, and you can see some players just overcooking the leads and things like that. It'll be interesting to see how the sides settle into this game.
Ball tossed in over the back, taken now by Carpenter, who gets booted ball through the middle of the ground. The Americans, they have the numbers. Now the quick kick forward, that was from Restrepo, and the mark now taken inside 50. Quickly plays on, wasn't the best of options, goes back to Restrepo now. He's
without
tackled, and it's going to be a free kick going to that man. So Restrepo now, he'll have the chance to set up. Is he within range, boys?
He might be on the edge of his reality here, Shane.
So Restrepo now, he agrees with you too, Brian. He sets it up the top of the square. No mark there. Carpenter was the fly. Couldn't take it. Goes to ground now. Going in hard, but leaving the ball behind was Linen. Little toe poke there backwards was very interesting there from William Gleason, going back towards his defensive goal. Still they go in all big, solid bump there by the Irish player in, I think that might have been O'Shane Collins. And the ball has gone out of bounds and over for a throw-in as the boys are quite taken with the Croatian mascot down there on the ground, the Swan.
Interesting to see early in this game. It's probably the US that looks a little bit more composed under pressure. They're really putting the Irish guys under a lot of pressure when they get their hands on the ball.
That's a swan. There's a swan right there out to the near side. It took me by surprise. That's going to be out on the full, I think. A little unlucky there was Mike Murphy. Well, they call him Magic, but wasn't looking like David Copperfield on that one. Free kick from all the way in the pocket somewhere in the car park. If I was leaning any closer, I'd be doing a headstand. Nice mark in the middle of the ground. So Ireland, as we said, skills a little bit more polished here. They're stringing them together, but right now they've only up by a point out to the near side, high in the air, and it's shepherding off the ball is the right call, and it'll be a free kick to Donald Lee in the center of the ground. 7-1, Ireland the lead.
So Lee gives the handball off. Little kick wide isn't very good. In fact, it's gone out of bounds on the full. That was a waste because they had the opportunity to go forward there, did the Americans. But they've turned it over. So, the kick straight into the man on the mark in Ben Carpenter. Runs around, runs to 50, top of the goal square. There's nobody there, though. Coming out to meet the ball was the Irish. Good little handball. They turn it over. Taken now for America, but the shot at goal is missed by Linfeld. And Linfeld's shot is offline, through for a behind. They go to 2 behinds. Ireland 1-1-7.
The skills are just coming unglued, Scooter.
Dustin Jones is about double 21 years old, and I tell you what, he just used a magical hand pass there.
I'll tell you what. So he's played for 3 USAFL clubs. 2 of them don't exist anymore. The Lehigh Valley Crocodiles and the Florida Redbacks.
I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing,
He's
Brian.
jonesing for some footy.
I know. Well, he's playing for the St. Petersburg Swans, as that one is sent right back at them. Almost taken. Ball goes to ground, as there is Dustin Jones, and the ball is seen out of bounds there by the man in Paul Murphy. It'll be 4.5 meters around from the U.S. target, as they trail by 5 points at 7-2. As the sky is becoming even more and more omnibus. It's like a Donald Trump presidential administration. Oh, wait. That's not a joke anymore. High up into the air. Who wants it? Everybody. Oh, dude, no, he got it. Saleh Taibji. How do you spell relief? T-Y-E-B-J-E-E. And he'll have the free kick from the center of the ground.
So Taibji now, he runs around, goes long. High ball to the hot spot. Can't take the mark. Oh, roving the pack very well, though. And the shot at goal. Does it get the journey? I don't think it did. I think it's a mark on the line. Good effort there by David Restrepo. He's the danger man for the Americans. And they need the ball to be in his hands more often than not this afternoon.
9 goals through 3 games. Go ahead, Scoot.
This quarter's really been a quarter of 2 halves here. Ireland dominated early. The US have really locked it in here, and we see these good defensive walls behind the ball.
So what you mean is it's been eighths, because that's what 2 halves of a quarter is.
What's fourths of a quarter?
A 16th.
You're a remarkable man, Brian.
That's why I'm here. Brian Barish alongside Shane Fleming and Scooter Matheson. Shane Fleming from up north in Swan Hill, where the Rapids run fierce, and so does the beer. As the ball comes back into play up on the far side. As the ball comes spinning back in the play. I think we might have some rain here in a moment, boys. Ball comes back in the ground, swatted away there by Franco, and then soccered off the ground, but then right into the hands of Little Fish. That is Brent Fisher, straight in the middle of the ground, as Dragus went to play the man, not the ball. Ireland will turn it back. Oh, big hit, and that's going to get called, and they call 50, a 25 rather.
He's a little bit lucky not to be sent off there, Dragus, because he went in with the elbow high, and he did collect him high as well.
You could see the intent as Dragus was frustrated about overcooking the mark, and he went in. He did look like he got him high, didn't he, Shane?
But he didn't. I'm sorry, Shane. Go ahead.
No.
I was going to say he didn't. I would say he didn't even play the ball on that. He just went after the man.
Yeah.
No, you're right. A ball goes inside forward 50. No mark for the Irish.
Good
Going
tackle.
to ground there was Brennan, and the umpires paid a free kick, riding him into the ground. In fact, it was Lorden. And Lorden with the free for Ireland. He's within range. It's going to be a tough angle from there, especially with a wet footy, as the rain just starts to tumble here at Ransford Oval.
Good side of the ground, though, given the wind.
No, he is absolutely on the right side of the ground, and especially now for a left footer as well. Comes in, kick is offline. It's through. In fact, it's missed everything. And it will be a free kick to the US.
He tried to roll the dice, didn't come up 6, didn't come up 1. It rolled off the table and down into the drain. 7-2 the score, and just a little bit of undisciplined play up and down the park here, not connecting with their skills as the rain starts to come a little bit harder and a little bit faster. And so do the Irish up on the far side. And now that one is centering into the middle of the ground. Knocked free there by the man Ian Lorden. And it comes through and still held up on the side. And now the ball's going to be like a greased watermelon at Willow Grove Day Camp. Ball goes out of bounds as it's a nice, refreshing, and steady rain. The players might not think so, but Ireland still leads 7-2 Scooter.
B squared, the crowd wants to know, did you ever get your hands on the watermelon, mate?
From time to time, but I usually just chopped it up and let everyone else eat it because I had a lot of trouble with the seeds. Way too many seeds.
All right, looks like I'm calling the footy. These boys are doing the jokes this afternoon, so ball to be thrown back into play. And
I think he's telling us something.
No, absolutely not. No, I love calling with you, Brian. You are a delight. I can tell you that right now.
That's what his mum says.
And, and the ball now kicked outside, attacking 50. It's going to come back in. Oh, great smother there by Restrepo. If he can pick it up, he can almost run all the way. He can't do so. Now there's no one forward of the centre here. So America, if they get the quick kick, they've got plenty of space to work into holding the ball. Now they need to move it quick. And it's going to come back, and an opportunity lost there for the US. They come wide and straight through the hands there of Dragus as the quarter-time siren sounds in a very entertaining first quarter here in the 3 versus 4 game in the men's Division 1. And it's Ireland 1-1-7 leading the US 2 straight behinds 2. Boys, how did you see that quarter?
Both sides look very evenly matched out here, and it's probably what we expected ahead of time. The US quite laborious, keeping the ball locked in their attacking zone. Ireland, they use their efficiency going forward. They've got some nice forward structures and some real experience in that forward line. But I'll tell you what, this is going to be an absolute rip-snorter of a game, Brian.
Yeah, and the Americans are just going to have to clean it up because right now Ireland is picking them apart in places, but the play of Kramer, the play of Manley Johnson in the back line, they're holding it together for the most part. They just need to be a little bit more disciplined in their play. They need to be a little bit more disciplined in the skill. It's going to be a little bit more difficult as the rain pelts down.
Quarter time here at Ransford Oval, and it is Ireland by 5 points. 1-1-7 to 2 straight behinds 2. Don't go anywhere. We've still got the next 3 quarters, which if it's anything like the first, will be very entertaining indeed still to come. Quarter time here in the 3 versus 4 game in the men's Division 1, USA versus Ireland, and it is Ireland by 5 points, 1-1-7 to the US, 2 straight behinds. The only goal scorer in that quarter, Declan Nannery, for the Warriors with just the 1 goal. But Brian and Scooter, a very entertaining first term. You would imagine, though, that the conditions as they are, well, they look like they're clearing a little bit out the back, but we've had a little bit of a rain shower there at quarter time. The conditions are going to favour the Irish, you would think.
Well, it's going to make it like a Mario Kart track. There's going to be banana peels and turtle shells all over the place that they're going to need to watch out for. But usually in the rain, it's the great equilibrator harder in a sense because everyone's got to get their skills down. And like I said, at the end of the first half or the end of the first quarter, the Americans got to be a lot cleaner.
Which side can stay vertical out there in those slippery conditions? That'll be massive. It's not horizontal, anything that we need out there. The guys have got to stay vertical. It'll be a gripping second quarter of action.
No, it certainly will be, especially if it is anything like the first quarter. Both these teams have come to play, and you can see the difference in standard from the earlier games this morning. But I'm going to hand you over now to the American BT, Brian Barish, to get started in the second term.
Thank you very much, and we've got a false start, 5 yards on the offense. Wait, wrong sport. It'll be a free kick going to the big man from LA and Donald Lee, who handballs it back to Carpenter. Chippy's going to say, oh, that's a pretty good kick from Ben Carpenter, and an even better mark by the big man. Oh, no, he fell. Oh, my goodness. Well, that's what we said. It just made it slippery enough.
Crikey.
Big, crikey hit, and that is going to...
Downfield.
Oh, it's downfield. And that one's going to come all the way back, play on into the middle, and drop by, not by Wilhelm. Ball goes in. I believe that was Linfelt who dropped the footy. And Dragus, I think, will just be happy that he didn't get hurt on that because he slipped and fell on his tuchus. But in any event, that's a shame. He probably should have gone back and had a crack. But in any event, there is Wilhelm punching it forward, and it's going to be a free kick, and we'll go to Ireland coming out.
So Big Jace has come out there hard, and they've paid too high. It's an interesting call by the umpire because he got the ball clean there, but just couldn't get it too far away. So free kick here to Paul Murphy.
Out of the back they come, goes Murphy. And as he looks around, goes to the left side up the 4 corridor. One-on-one contest. Nice mark there by Finn, who was wearing not only Dustin Jones, but John Freeman like a mink coat, and then a handball up the far side, watched by Lee. Great smother by D-Rock, and now into the middle comes Ireland, goes into the middle of the ground, and all alone to take it is Dragus, and he'll look to release.
Poor option there by the Irish to come in the middle. It was all US. Dragus now goes wide as a player loose in support. Tried to get it over the top there, did the skipper in Johnson, but couldn't move it quick enough. So Johnson now held up. Has to go back, kick down the line, deep inside forward 50. Trying to go up to take the mark, but unable to do so. Straight through the hands was Wilhelm. High kick there by Murphy. High ball, unable to take the mark was Lee. Now he's claimed, has to get rid of it. Did. Shrug the tackle. Good work by Lee. Oh, lets himself down a little bit with the kick. Taken, was trapped there by Jones. Little handball forward. Now Ben Carpenter, he's brought the ground. And I think you might be right, Scoot. I think that's going to be a downfield free kick to the US as Ben Carpenter, no, it won't be downfield. It's going to be taken from where it was kicked, and Ben Carpenter will be the receiver.
They call that move in professional wrestling the Irish chicken wing, and I'll tell you what, in professional wrestling it works. On the footy field, it's quite illegal.
I haven't had my lunch yet. That actually sounds really good. Probably has like some whiskey sauce on top of it.
Actually, I'll second that motion there, Brian. I haven't had mine either, and I am starving, but Carpenter comes in, more importantly, and puts the US in front. So the US, they go to 1-2-8. They lead Ireland 1-1-7, and we've been playing now almost 3 minutes in this second term.
Ben Carpenter's an absolute champion.
Well, you can see that the Irish now have given away a couple of free kicks going hard at Benny Carpenter, who's a real prime mover for the Revos, and they've been a little bit undisciplined, giving away one downfield and then one, you know, obviously that last goal by Carpenter there. If you're on the Irish coaching staff, you're just telling them, settle down, play football, use your experience and your skills to stay in this game.
They seem to be coming out a little helter-skelter, and we've seen the U.S. calm down a little bit, which is good. It wasn't at the frenetic pace that the PNG game was at, but I'll tell you what, that was like someone turned a bag of Pop Rocks loose in a Coca-Cola factory as the ball comes to ground, and that one is moved forward, and just off the hands there of the man in Nannery, who has the only goal of the game for the Irish. Back the other way they come. That's holding them up, and it will be a free kick. And it will be awarded to Carpenter, who says, give me the ball. Oh, that's got to be 25.
That has to be 25.
And it's not been given. Well,
he might have let that go because Carpenter was on the move backwards.
Yep.
And he might have just given the Irish defender the benefit of the doubt there.
Yeah, well, I might have 175 IQ, but, you know, meanwhile, ball comes in the middle of the ground. Obviously, I don't. Ball gets a right right foot high in the air. Nice take. Oh, and a little shrug, if you don't mind, by Gavin Murray. Plays for the South Dublin Swans. Continues up the side somewhere. No, he's back. Here's the ball. As he has it, he's about 2 kicks from goal. So here is Gavin Murray. Walks in slowly, like a horse needing to have a good leak. Throws that one on to the right towards goal. I'll tell you what, that is a very good kick, and it splits the middle. It's dead center. Perfect. Ireland back on top. 2-1-13 for the Warriors, 1-2-8 for the Revos.
As we saw with the first Irish goal, they've sort of laboured hard, worked hard, and they've had those big lead-up forwards to take those grabs. And Murray there, beautiful set of hands, and didn't really appreciate the intimate contact from the Revo player, but he went back and slotted it through, casual as you like.
Bit of a letdown there by the Americans too. They had possession and they wasted it through the middle of the ground. They're really turning it over, and that has cost them a goal.
It's becoming a theme.
Yeah, and when you've conditions like this, goals are at a premium this afternoon. Lee went up in the ruck but couldn't quite get the tap. It was Murray that did. Comes down now, couldn't quite take the mark, was Franco, but it's the Americans to clear through Jeff Kramer. Kicks out wide, out to the wing, leading out in the ball, going over the head of Restrepo, then falling over at the crucial moment. Murius Bartley's the first one back there. He's happy to see it over the boundary line, and it will be thrown back into play about 80 metres out from the attacking goal for the USA.
And Brian Barish, we've been watching the Revolution for almost a decade now, mate, and you see the difference with this side when compared with other ones is that composure deep in defence, just that footy knowledge. It's really been drilled into the team by Tommy Ellis.
He's done just about everything right, and I think that's it. And one thing is just about every player on the sideline in front of us, Dan Sarbacker, Jason Becker, they've all been in this situation before in the International Cup. They've all played a really long time and been involved a really long time. I think that shows you really the magic and really the knowledge of this game and how well the players are like sponges to soak them in. As the ball is turned inboard, marked, and here they go. Again, that's the man there in Nannery. Nannery, mustard came off the hot dog, but that one is kicked inside. One-on-one contest. Ball goes to ground. It falls to the man, and he's going to slot it home.
It's touched.
Sorry. Thank you. It was touched off the boot. William Gleason, who I think we have one of those. We have a Will Gleason for the U.S. and a William Gleason. We're going to have to change one of their names to Sparky or something like that. But in any event, it's back to a straight kick. 2-2-14 for Ireland, 1-2-8 for the USA.
I'll tell you what, that's more confusing than my ex-dating life, Brian.
Brent Fisher with the kick out. I don't know where to go with that, so I'll just worry about
go
calling
forward.
the footy. Comes to Carpenter. He gives the handball off now to Gartright. Long kick coming out towards half forward, sitting underneath the ball. Bounced straight off his chest there was Wilhelm. Now going in hard. He goes back in for the second ever was Wilhelm. That was better, but still couldn't take possession. Kick smothered by Levesque. Now Ireland looking to go forward and taking the mark through the middle of the ground is Nannery. Quickly moves the ball. Loose player out wide and spots him. And I think that might be O'Sullivan out there. So O'Sullivan now too far out to score. He doesn't look confident. Kicks in. In fact, he kicks into the man on the mark, and it will be over the boundary line and over for a throw-in. Score at the moment. Ireland leading by a goal. 7.5 minutes gone in the second term.
I call that move bangers and mash because he made a hell of a meal of that.
Oof. Lunch, dude. Haven't had lunch yet. You need to stop with the food references. Wait a minute. I'm doing the same thing. Well, ball will come back into play. And the U.S. trying to get back into the game here. They had the lead for a split second. You might even say a New York minute. The ball is going out of bounds. Brian Barish alongside Shane Fleming and Scott Matheson. Great to have your company. Hoping you're watching back in the U.S. where it is after midnight on Friday morning. It is a resplendent and quickly, rapidly changing. It's like southern Florida. If you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes. It'll be a free kick, and it's been awarded to Magic Mike Murphy, who will take it in the back half. He looks around. He'll play off the mark. Made one man miss. Made two man miss. And, it's 25. Okay, that's why he was running around. It looks like he came off the mark. Well, boy, that new rule really makes a difference. And coming up after the show, stay tuned for the Willie Mays story starring Barbra Streisand in the title role. Boy, that new rule really makes a difference. Going up, and what a mark taken by Dustin Jones. The man is as old as dirt, and he plays even better than it, and he'll have a chance to set sail inside 50.
Just saw the experience there of Dusty Jones. He just saw it dropping a little bit short, and he ran in and took a beautiful chest mark.
So here is Jones, sets sail, pretty good kick. Does it have the travel? No, but it's in front, fighting away. Did Carpenter get it? Did he get it back heel? They're going to discuss this.
No, they're discussing beers after the game.
Well, no, I think they're talking about what kind of schnitzel chicken they like where's the best place to go. I have the feeling, judging, now they're calling the umpire in, they're calling the boundary umpire. We've got the Pope on standby.
They're all going for
We've
beers.
got Hillary Clinton on standby. Brian Dragus
Well, we
is
know
hoping
which way
for it.
she's going to vote.
Well, she's going to vote that it went left, and the umpire says it's a goal. Well, that's it. You talk it out. We can work it out.
I'll tell you who could take some real, that was great teamwork there. And, you think Donald Trump and his administration could really take something from that. As they got together, they discussed it out. It wasn't one bloke up there just making all the calls.
I'm not going any further than that. 2-2-14, each of two. We're all square, boys.
Politics is not one of my strong suits,
Me
boys.
neither.
But back in the middle.
You're living in the right country then.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's debatable as well. Donald Lee and O'Halloran with the tap. Got it down. Oh, little tap out was good. Run down from behind was Nannery, but he got the kick away. Now going in the direction of Murray. Couldn't take the mark. Oh, ball on the ground. Picked up now by William Gleeson. Oh, got around one. Gleeson shot a goal. This will be a goal and a half. He's put it through. William Gleeson with the quick reply for the Irish. And they go to 3-2-20. They lead the US 2-2-14. And as hard as the Americans have worked then to get that goal, that has been answered straight back.
Shane Fleming, eloquent, articulate, and very handsome, mind you, to those of you who can't see him. Incredible call there. A little bit of Irish magic down there in the pocket with the wind whooshing. Realistically, that's probably going to push the ball across the goal. And just a marvellous answer from the Irish Warriors there.
And all of a sudden, the scoring is coming thick and fast as if we were at the Moonlight Ranch. Ball is coming back into the center of the ground. I think we may have been testing the family rating with that one. Ball comes to ground, handballed it out. One again there, that is Bartley. Put that one onto the left. There is Nannery, who couldn't handle it. There's a long way to the bottom there to pick that up, and Donald Lee, and he did it, and he is wrapped up. That's got to be, well, that was very close to holding the ball. And then Johnson will go back, looking for a help. He got it there, and the man in Dragus out to the far side. Kept in nicely. Here comes Max DePina. Just got his kick away up the corridor. Out of the fingertips there of O'Halloran. Scrambled through, and then that one is pushed down, continued on. Handball by Linehan. Murphy couldn't have it. He tries to paddle it on back to Levy. Oh, Levy overran it. Ball comes back in, and now they're playing soccer, maybe even a little bit of Gaelic football. Ball comes to ground. They're just able to get it back out. Big hit thrown in by Garth Wright. Ball goes to ground again. That's out on the full. Absolutely. And a great job of pressure. Ding, 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 ding. And the ball is going out of bounds. It'll be a free kick for the Americans in that front pocket.
I'm noticing off the ball, Magic Mike Murphy's really starting to get under the skin of the Irish defenders. And you can see there that they're really losing composure at key moments.
So Dragus with the high ball to the hot spot, unable to take the mark. The pack went up. Lindfeld with the fist away. Got down to the ground, but it's going to be Ireland who looked to clear, although they could have turned it over. Dropping the mark there was Lindholm. And comes out now Donald Lee. Oh, he's tackled. Got to get the boot. The ball did. Umpire said he threw it. Well, I don't know how you can throw it when you get your boot to the ball after you've dropped it. So I think that the umpire probably won't want to see the replay of that one.
Sometimes logic is a four-letter word, Shane.
My under-16s coach said, Scott, throw it on your boot. And the umpire paid a free kick against him for doing just that.
So it comes out now. It comes to O'Shane Collins. Runs around, a high ball up to half forward. Pack forms. Murray from behind. Couldn't take the mark, but got it to ground. Now taken by Johnson, the skipper for the US. And the umpire's paid a free kick. It's going to go to Johnson in the back, ridden into the ground. And he will look to set up the Americans from half back.
Kyle Manley Johnson, Manley by name, Manley by nature, goes out to the far side. Found
That's
Freeman.
Beautiful
kick, and it's taken by Max DePina from the Pacific Northwest, where the giant ball in the sun is an alien object. Ball up the far side. Nice snag. And I don't mean the sausage kind. Christy Devaney takes the mark. There we are talking about lunch again. Up to that far side as they continue on. And there's DePina. DePina did pretty good for a small guy. Ball gets knocked around. Picked up by Tyabji, who found Johnson, who found Tyabji, who found the ground. Soccered on looking for Mergen. It's a worm burning. It's a greased watermelon. It's a greased lemon. It's a whole produce stand at the moment. Throws that one on to the right up high. 2-on-2 contest. Kramer got in front of his man. Going back to get it was William Gleeson, the Irish William Gleeson. Going all the way back, and there is Hansen with his blonde locks. Resplendent. Great job to find Fisher once again. as they try to draw up something new on the right side. Shano.
Back into the middle, looking for Donald Lee. Little toe poke to the ball was O'Collins. Now comes out to Restrepo. Good little handball, releases the loose player for the US, but the kick's been turned over at half forward. So now Ireland looking to set something up. Goes wide, looking for Bartley. Dropped the mark, probably should have held on to it. Goes with the second effort, does Bartley. Gives the handball back. Missed the target, comes now to Finn. Finn going back, they're going backwards to the Irish as the kick there goes out of bounds on the full from Jared Walls. And that was a poor effort in the end because it's going to give the Americans a chance to set up once again.
The US pressure on the ball there was absolutely outstanding, and they kept forcing it, and eventually the Irish slapped it on the boot and, of course, made that skill error. Outstanding defensive work from the US.
I was going to say, that's been the best part of their game so far, is really just putting the clamps down. And Ireland, we've seen them when they've gotten loose during the course of the tournament because they're very, very quick with the ball. As the ball is up on the far side, looking for DePina off the hands there, and the ball goes out of bounds for a boundary throw.
One thing I'd like to see both teams do a little bit more is start looking to use the space a little bit more. Look to switch the play. Look to kick on the 45. They've got enough highly skilled players in both their teams to be able to do it. And what that'll do is that'll open up the game for whoever's brave enough to do it.
To be fair, I haven't really seen a whole lot of that in the games I've watched, and I haven't seen New Zealand play. I haven't seen some of these other teams play. But they need to have more footy sense. You see, there's like nothing in front of us. Everyone's on the opposite side of the ground, on the leg side, if you will. They're basically hemming them in. What they got to do is, you see Manley Johnson, he's got to release to the inside. He's got to release into the cow paddock a little bit and switch the play. He's got all sorts of room to run. Ball crowd the crowd. Boot says the umpire, it's locked in there, and it will be a ball up.
It also comes back to the players, telling them that you've got the loose players on the other side and being also prepared to run hard. Once you do start to switch the play, you've got to be able to run hard and be prepared to do that to get out to the fat side of the ground.
What's the most important part of a relationship, Scooter?
Verbal communication, mate.
Thank you very much.
Well, it's going to be a free kick to the Americans. John Freeman is going to take it. Kicks high into the pocket. Pack flies, big fly there from behind by Wilhelm. Couldn't drag it down. Quick kick forward. Man in the squares, Dragas couldn't bring down the mark either. Now off the ground is the soccer, but it's offline. It's through for one behind. So just a point to the US. They go to 2-3-15. They trail Ireland 3-2-20 by 5 points. We've been playing, 1 minute to go in this second quarter.
Phenomenal work there by the US, just moving it forward, and then coming back and setting up behind the ball. Let's see if the Irish can counter-attack late in this second quarter.
Skills still need to leave a little bit to desired there as Dragas dropped another fairly easy mark, although he was in contest there. Up over the top as they play on. Fisher circling back. Probably one more roll of the dice. Not with a handball like that as it goes out of bounds in front of Murish Bartley. 3-2 plays 2-3. Under a minute to go here, 17.5-minute quarters, and once again, if it is tied at the end of the fourth quarter will run without a siren, and the game will end when we have a golden point. Ball comes spinning back in the play. Boy, that's a majestic throw-in. We got a shoulder to it. Ball goes to ground. They tie it up. Everyone down mushroom farming. Throw a blanket over 30 players. They're moving the ball forward. And there is the siren. A very entertaining 35 minutes of footy is in the books here at the Ransford Oval in the third place game. Division I AFL International Cup 2017. Your score, it's the Ireland Warriors 3-2-20. The USA Revolution 2-3-15.
Certainly is a very entertaining game. Scooter, how did you see that second quarter play out?
I saw the Irish efficiency and, tall lead-up forwards, create a couple of opportunities for them. Also, not just from taking those marks, but also giving them a target going forward. The US, on the other hand, moved it in with hard work, good pressure around the ball. Similar to the way that the Richmond Tigers have been playing in the AFL this year, putting real pressure on the ball and then taking those opportunities from the Irish mistakes.
It's right off of the ninth shelf for you for that.
Well, it is half-time here in the AFL International Cup, the final game for these two nations, and it is Ireland by 5 points, 3-2-20 to 2-3-15. Don't go anywhere. Second half action still to come, and it is, if it's anything like the first half, it's going to be a very entertaining game. Or well, I'm interested, rather, to know what you think is going to happen in the second half.
You know, I think the US look like they're putting a little bit more ball pressure on the Irish team. The Irish have been good going forward, as I've said, and we just got let known by the interchange steward here, just at the start of the third quarter, that Paul Murphy was sent off with a yellow card right at the end of the second quarter. So the Irish may be starting one man down.
Yeah, they're going to need to jump right on this. They're going to need to be very aggressive. Third quarter, Shane Fleming.
So ball tapped down now and taken straight away there by John Freeman, but he's claimed and brought to ground, and we will have a ball up still inside the centre circle here at Ransford Oval. As the ruckman go up again, tapped down there by O'Halloran, came down to Marius Bartley, who got the handball away, but only as far as Michael Murphy goes back towards half-back, giving away a lot of ground. In fact, they're now back inside defensive 50. They're going the wrong way. Kick around the corner to DePina wasn't great because gave Bartley the chance to get the hands of the ball, couldn't take the mark. Crowd wants the free kick. And the umpire says throw it in, and we will have a boundary thrown right in front of the Irish interchange bench, as we've been playing now for 1 minute in this third term.
Fantastic pressure there by Linehan as he just come up and wrapped him up. That's a really great textbook tackle.
And also a good non-call because he did get the ball to boot. Here's Will Gleason, the American Will Gleason. Throws that up the right side into the corner. Nice over the shoulder mark. Willie Mays style by Benny Carpenter, who's on the other side of this giant metallic wall. Goes into the middle up high. 2-on-2 contest. Ball spills out to ground. Going out to get it. Up skip by a couple of players. Over to get it there. Throwing that one onto the left is Carpenter. That one is going right. That one is sailing right. And it is gone out on the full, I believe. In fact, yes, it has. Good job by Carpenter to throw it onto the left foot, but it was about as wayward as a moth, and the ball has gone out of bounds for a free kick. Ireland lead by 5 points.
US look dangerous going forward there, though.
So Barry Murray it is to bring the ball back into play. Kicks long down the line. It's into a dangerous position. They've got to maintain possession here, do the Irish, and the umpires paid the mark there to the skipper and David McAlone. So McAlone now has the ball.
What about the name Barry Murray? That's what a hangover sounds like to me.
So McAlone kicks up to the wing. Going underneath it there was Walls. Didn't read it the best. Gets a second effort. He's got to get rid of it now, though. Finally does. Handball's over the shoulder. Running out of room there is Ben Judge. And we'll have a boundary throw-in.
Here come the judge. Here come the judge. Barry May actually sounds like a guy who played for, like, South Melbourne in the 1970s. Ball comes spinning back in the play. Ireland holding a 5-point lead. Third quarter. Ball goes to ground, going around. Here's Fisher, wrong Minnesota guy. Nice over the head mark taken by Michael Finn. As Finn goes back from whence it came. Out of the hands there of O'Sullivan. They keep the footy. O'Sullivan and Freeman, and Frio wins the footy. Got the ball, looking for Sears. Found Tyebji up the far side, marked by Mike Murphy. So the captain of the New York Magpies looked for Bobby Sears, but that was not a very good handball. And then he took him down, but it was turned over to Lee. Lee throws that one onto the right foot, looking for Tyebji, just out of the arm reach of the man from Sacramento. My very educated mother made me 9 pies, and the ball will be boundary throw on the other side.
Still talking about food, B squared.
Oh, yeah. Well, can't get away from it.
So ball now to be tossed back into play. Lee and O'Halloran, they've been going at the ruck all day so far, and it's been a good contest. Lee just throws O'Halloran out of the way, and it'll be a free kick to O'Halloran. High contact, said the umpire. Can't do that. So O'Halloran now with the ball for the Irish. They lead by 5 points. No addition to the score from half time, as O'Halloran now kicks long. High ball, unable to mark there was Murray. Going in there was Bartley, claims the ball, maybe taken high there. Umpire says play on. He's got to get rid of it. He's holding the ball. And it'll be a free kick to the US. It'll be taken by Ryan Gartright.
Great decision by the umpire because he had his prior opportunity, broke that tackle, went to ground. It was absolutely spot on.
Ryan Garthwaite from the Denver Bulldogs put that one in the middle. Not the greatest of decisions, but Johnson's able to keep. Oh, that could be high tackle. It wasn't. And the ball is locked in there. It's frozen in there like Walt Disney, and we'll have a ball up on the near side. 20 plays 15. Scoreless third quarter. Lee wins the head out. Wrapped up quickly as Johnson. No prior opportunity. And one thing that I've seen from Donald Lee, and you got to see a little bit of it a couple of years ago, is he's very good. He's going to win those hit outs more often than not. but he's gotten very good at finding his on-ballers to tap the ball down to.
So Judge now with the free kick for high contact, kicks out to the wing, sets a task for Depina, but he reads the play well, goes in hard. In there as well was Finn. Ball comes out the back to Bartley. Bartley's been good for the Irish in the first half, and he's starting to get plenty of the ball at the start of the second as well. Goes to the ground. Umpires paid a free kick though, holding on. We'll be coming back now to Brent Fisher, who quickly looks to move the ball on. High kick into a dangerous position inside 50. The man coming out. Oh, couldn't quite get there in time. But the little handball over the top by Restrepo. Finds a teammate there in Linfeld, whose kick's been marked. And playing on is Michael Finn.
Out of the back they come. Well, they're huffing, they're puffing, and they've got a house of bricks to the Irish as they hold on to a 5-point lead. Finn.
Good kick.
Great kick into the middle of the ground as they have found the man and turned it over. And here is David Restrepo, who, according to us, has 10 goals. The AFL only says he has 9. But I was here and I counted 5 the other day against France.
I see such a massive difference with Jason Wilhelm up forward for the US Revolution, really coming out and leading hard.
Into the mixing machine. Double-fisted monkey style, long one to Linfeld. He was taken down, goes for a fresh air shot. Air is soccered off the ground to the near side, leaning over and still in play. Centering ball now cleared out to the wing position. 4 players won it. They rise. Going after that was Murray, who got highest, didn't get the football. And out of all that smorgasbord, still the ground, picked up by Freeman. Freeman goes into the middle, chasing after it is Dragus. Over to get it is Wilhelm, but he went away. And now they'll come back out. Selling some candy there was O'Sullivan. Ireland releases.
So the ball now kicked through the middle of the ground, but it's going to be coming straight back as Tybe G takes possession. Kicks it. It's an ugly-looking kick from him. Turned over. So a couple of skill errors from both sides costing them at the moment. Comes now to McElhone, who goes wide, looking to switch. Bring it out towards the space on the far side of the ground. Ireland have moved the ball well here. It's from Nannery, who goes deep into the pocket and is able to hit up Gavin Murray on the lead. And Murray from 30 metres will go back and have a shot at goal.
The delivery there from Nannery was absolutely spot on. He gave him, a bit of space to lead into when he went out, and he had probably only half a step on Kramer, but beautiful set of hands, and the Irish will look to go further ahead here.
So Gavin Murray from the South Dublin Swans. He's got one already this afternoon, a couple of steps, and he's kicked into the man on the mark. He's asking if he's gone over. The umpire says no, he didn't. You just got too close.
That's all you, mate.
And it's going to be a boundary throw-in.
I think he looked like he was appealing for leg before wicket there.
I think he was just appealing. Maybe he's an orange. Maybe an onion.
What are you doing before you eat a banana?
Appeal it?
Appeal it.
All right. Only I can make the bad puns here, Scooter. Ball comes back in the play. Those are actually pretty good. Sent in towards the sticks and across the face. Umpire rules it behind as it's going across. It's back to an even goal. 3-3-21 for Ireland. 2-3-15 for the USA. Third quarter, third place game of this 2017 AFL International Cup. Glad you're joining us back home in the States where it is after midnight. You can start singing Eric Clapton on your own. Now they come out of the back line, out to the near side. They go up, they rise. Freeman was probably the smallest man in that contest. And no, in fact, he didn't take it. It was taken there by Nannery into the middle, into the mixer. Goes free, and then over to get it. It just handcuffed Hansen. Threw that one onto the left there, and that is there. A good left-footed kick by the man in William Gleason. Big goal for the Warriors. That puts them 2 goals in front. 4-3-27 Ireland, 2-3-15 for the USA. And boy, Scooter, that was a punch in the gut.
Yeah, absolutely. As the Irish have gone forward, they've looked really threatening. The big man up there, number 11, is going to be Gavin Murray. He's presented well, but also at ground level, there's all sorts of goal-kicking forwards down there, Shane.
There certainly is. He's providing a good target, is Murray, but they are reading the play off him very well. 2 of the smaller, fleet-footed forwards for the Irish. Back in the middle, Lee and O'Halloran, neither able to take clean possession, although Lee got his hands to the ball. Comes out now Depina sharks the hand pass. His kicker wasn't a good one. Going to try to keep it in now is going to be Dragus. He does. Kicks down the line. Good spot up. Finds Livy on the lead. So Levy now, and it's going to be 25. So he didn't come back. Murtagh Condren was told by the umpire to come back. He didn't. He ignored it. and you do that at your peril because it's now a 25-metre penalty.
Just like my dog growing up, I kept telling it to come back. It would have got that many 25-metre penalties. It's not funny.
It probably would have ended up coming back in the first place.
So Levy now, Daniel Levy. Is he within range, boys?
Nope.
Okay, pretty easy answer. So we're going to look for the pack to fly on the line. It looks like he might have the journey. He's proven the American BT wrong, but he's offline nonetheless and 3-4-1 behind.
Well, if you ask my wife, that pretty much happens 8 out of 10 times a day, which is why we don't ask her. Back to an 11-point game. 2-4-16, trailing Ireland, 4-3-27. And we are getting pretty near the end of this third quarter, as John and Paul once said, except without that last part. Ball goes out to the far side. Oh, nice. They all fly. Ball comes to ground over the top. Handballs in over to Garthright. Lost the pill. Everyone has a convention on the far side, and it's locked in, and the umpire says that is a ball up. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's it. No, it is a ball up. Way too confusing. And the umpire has called blood rule.
Yep. I think it might be O'Halloran here coming off for the Irish, the big ruckman.
You're starting to see Mick Finn, the experience of the Irish number 9, come to the fore. He's starting to, get his hands on the ball around those kick-ins and forward thrusts. And, it'll be interesting to see if the US can start to counterattack that.
One thing we haven't talked about is the fact that the US had a man up for the first 10 minutes of this quarter. And they really haven't capitalized on it, which is a shame. I mean, I guess that shows you, one extra person is a big deal, but Ireland able to cope out of the middle, sending that one in long, off the hands there of Bartley. Fisher was there to contest as well. He paddles that one on there, does the man in Gleason, who has an insurance goal at the moment. He came up over the top, handballed around, stolen again there by Devaney. Devaney goes out to the far side. Nice chest mark. And a free kick, and he'll go back to take this one from about 45 out.
Really good vision there from Devaney.
Spot on. He ran onto that, running hard, and then lowered his eyes right at the last minute and saw a teammate here, and another opportunity for the Irish.
I can see a number 1. I can't see the other number.
I think it might be Nannery.
It might be Nannery. Thank you very much. So Nannery, who plays for Powerhouse, he's going to stride in. He does the stutter step because he thinks he's Josh Kennedy. And that one looked pretty good off the boot. Dead center, perfect. Another goal to the Warriors as they push the Revos just a little further away in this quest for third place at the International Cup Men's Division 1. 5-3-33 Ireland, 2-4-16 to the USA.
As we've seen here in the second quarter a couple of times, the US sort of controlled the play. Is it the third quarter or the second quarter?
It is third quarter.
It's the third quarter, crikey. It is the third quarter.
Keep going.
The US had control of the play, turned it over, and then Ireland going forward. Just those 1% opportunities, really efficient going forward in the third quarter.
Well, they've blown this game open now, have the Warriors. It is on the Revos to try to close this margin now. They need the next one. They cannot allow the Irish to get the next goal. They're back in the middle. Neither ruckman able to take the tap or get a clean tap away. Kick forward. It's going to go the Irish direction, and that man Nannery, the goal kicker, takes possession. Kicks deep, and they've got the loose man in Gavin Murray, and he takes the mark almost unopposed. I don't know how that can happen because he has been dominant so far, and you would think that he would be the man that they would be really focusing on the Americans.
Where do you take a heap of Irish grandmothers to get babysat?
Gavin Murray.
At the Declan Nannery.
So Murray has put it through, and that is another goal to the Irish, and he has got his second. They go to 6 goals, 3:39. They lead the United States 2-4-16. And all of a sudden, this is starting to get a little bit worrying for the Americans.
Yeah, the Revolution defenses started to collapse about as slowly and delicately as the Ottoman Empire, full of furniture for some reason. I stole that one from Eddie Izzard. As the ball comes back into the middle of the ground, 39 plays 16. The USA beat Ireland to finish third in the 2005 International Cup. And if we want to keep history the same, they are going to need to get on their horse and go. Not much time left in this third quarter. Ball goes out on the far side. It was down low, and then that could be high tackle. It should be high tackle. It is high tackle. Given away there to Gerald Walls. And so it'll be a free. No, it was a ball up. Well, I didn't see the signal. I thought he went high, but once again, I'm wrong. Fogarty has the ball up on the far side. Bounces off the man in Fisher. Going after it and sliding in the second base there was Garthwaite. Almost got leg was Fisher. He found Tyab, able to paddle himself away from one player. Throws that one onto the right up the sideline. Tracking back and almost taking the mark one-handed was Finn. Finn comes into the center of the ground. He's been around like snake oil, has Finn. And the ball is locked in on that far side. The ball will go in the air. And Scott, the skills, again, they were cleaner for a little bit. They seem to have come unraveled again for the Americans.
Crucial couple of minutes here for the Revos. They really need a goal to bring this momentum back going into the last quarter.
So running out of space there as the ball goes over the boundary line and over for a throw-in. And the Revos, they must get the next goal, and you would think they need it before three-quarter time to stay in this contest. Ball tapped down over the back there by Wilhelm. Can't find a teammate. Throw a blanket over about 10 players at the moment. That ball's struggling to come out. Eventually the umpire's going to have to call for it. He does now. And we will have a ball up here, about 80 metres out from goal for the US.
Coach Tommy Ellis has moved Jason Wilhelm into the ruck for the US Revolution.
So Wilhelm, big fist away, tried to get it going in that direction. Coming straight back, though, all going in hard there for America was John Freeman, and the umpire nearly went to ground as well. And he eventually calls for another ball up over on the far side of the ground.
Donald Lee is on the bench. That's why they're doing that. They're giving him a little bit of a rest, and well-deserved. He's had a sparkling tournament as going forward. Corralled there by Murphy, who is back on the ground, high up in the air. Marked nicely and decisively. I believe that was by Murray as well. Or rather, that's Nannery. Throws that one onto the left. They look the same from here. And that one is marked again as Paul O'Halloran, another South Dublin Swan. They're working it down the chain of fools. Throws that one onto the right, high up into the air, and that one is tipped and bounced out of bounds. Or no, it's going out on the full. I apologize. It has gone straight out on the full. All I saw was something hit something, and I didn't see where it was, but in fact, it's one out for a free kick. 6-3, 39 Ireland, 23 points over the USA Revolution, 2-4-16. I'm Brian Barish. He's Scooter Matheson, and you're going to hear Shane Fleming.
So less than a minute to go in the third term. They need to move the ball quickly. They've got to try and get another goal before the break. Do the US. Going in hard there was Linen, and he's been paid for holding the ball going against him. And it's going to be a free kick to the Irish. And there's some conjecture about whose ball it is. Eventually it goes the way of, that looks like Darnell Fogarty.
Yep.
So Fogarty now, he's going to have a kick after the siren. So this is a big moment in the game here. A goal could almost shut the gate on the Americans here if Fogarty can put it through.
Smallest man on the pitch, and what he lacks in height, he makes up for in being short.
So Fogarty comes in, kick on its way. I don't think it's going to have the legs. It doesn't. It's brought back into play. So no score to end the third quarter, but it was all Ireland. They broke this game open. They lead 6-3-39 to the US, 2-4-16. Scooter, a big quarter now for the United States, but they need to get some momentum early on in this final quarter now.
They do, and they've run hard. It's just the forward opportunities. They haven't taken their the chances when the ball's on the deck. They had the run of the play for probably the first 5 minutes of that quarter. But what can you say about the Irish as well with that said? I mean, they were absolutely fantastic. Nannery was awesome in that third quarter, and he really might be the difference going forward for the Irish.
Yeah, they're playing really, really clean. Clean handballs, clean kicks. They're really getting away from the defenders. And more importantly, we've talked about this just about every game. It started with the Canadian game. We talked about it in Papua New Guinea. The Irish are beating the Americans in transition. They're not manning up fast enough. And Ireland, they're just too good a team for you to do that.
Certainly right. I wholeheartedly agree with you there, Brian. Well, it is three-quarter time, and it is a 23-point margin in the favour of Ireland. It is all work to do for the US with just 1 quarter left in this tournament for them. It is 6-3-39, the Irish to the US, 2-4-16. All the final quarter action coming up after this break. 23-point margin here at three-quarter time, and the game is all in front of the United States. They are the team that has the work to do. It is the Irish, 6-3-39, leading the US 2-4-16. The goal kickers, well, they're all got two, have the Irish. Gavin Murray, Declan Nannery and William Gleeson all have two, while for the United States, Ben Carpenter, well, he has two as well. So it's being done in twos at the moment, but the United States, they need to find a few more guys to kick some goals for them.
Deuce is wild at this point. Well, and you know, it's sort of the reverse of the France game where it was like Oprah. You get a goal, you get a goal, you get a goal. They had 11 different goal kickers in that game. Ireland doing a good job of containing, and in some ways the Revos are sort of beating themselves. I keep, beating a dead horse here, but the skill's got to be much better.
The first 5 minutes of this last quarter will be absolutely crucial for both sides. Ireland really went into the three-quarter time break with the momentum. The US, a couple of quick goals, and they can get right back in this game. It'll be really interesting to see what happens.
Well, it certainly will, and to take us away, it's going to be Brian Barish.
Thank you very much. Fourth quarter, we are underway. The big men fly, so does the football out into the middle of the ground. Corralled by Carpenter, who will go in short. Chippy chips it up to the near side. Going after it to get it and overrunning it was Fisher. Down on his knees to get it there was Fogarty. Fogarty is trying to get it out of there. Look at me, I'm going to be center field. Wait, that was John Fogarty. And the ball just stays in and now finally shows itself out of bounds. You can probably see that a little bit better than me.
I think I probably can. Almost got to get out of the truck to see it, but
yep.
We've got a line of sight. So the ball now thrown back into play. And Lee with the tap down behind. That was clever. Got it down now to Carpenter. A quick kick forward. Bouncing ball. Trying to get back there first was Linfeld. Couldn't do so. It's with the Irish now. So a little handball by O'Sullivan. Gets it off now to Bartley. Has a bounce. Had the kick. Did. Dragged down after he kicked it. No free kick, said the umpire. Coming out to take the mark in defence is Jeff Kramer for the US.
Jeff Kramer, go ahead.
Marvellous chase by Will Gleeson there, put real pressure on his Irish opponent.
Just got it out. And I was going to say Kramer, once again, having a great game here, despite the fact that they've given up 6 goals. Ball goes to ground, soccered off by Garthwaite. It's going to sit up nicely there for the man in Condren, who throws that one high in the air. It'll bring some rain. Knocked down, going after the get it again was Garthwaite, and he had to almost pick that one out of his shoes was the Ireland player. And then they'll handball it back, straight into the middle. Lee is set upon McElhone pretty quickly, throws that back out to Devaney. Devaney, one-on-one contest. No one got it. Hansen had it, throws it over to the near side, kicks straight out in the middle of the ground looking for Lee, and D-Rock takes a nice mark.
That is a great mark there from Lee. And he quickly plays on. Probably wasn't the best of options there to Carpenter, but he's good enough to get the kick away. Big fly. And the umpires found the free kick. It's for chopping the arms. It's going to go to Linfeld. So they need to score here. Gives it off to Carpenter. Carpenter racking up the possessions now. Wasn't the best looking kick, but it's effective. Got to Wilhelm on the full, but couldn't quite drag it in. Now little toe poke forward. Going the way of the Irish. Nannery will be first there. No, he won't. Comes instead to William Gleeson. Got the handball away, but they've turned it over. Comes to Lee. Lee could go over to Carpenter. Decides not to. Goes himself. Little handball over the top. And US go inside 50.
And it's marked defensively, just as you say that, by Michael Finn. And I'll tell you what, I don't know what Jason Wilhelm's been eating for breakfast the last 2 games, but he's dropped a ton of marks. Sells a little football. Good place, good piece of footballing, jiggery pokery. That one, he's bumped off the man to take the mark by Murray. That wasn't unfair. He just lowered his shoulder and to clear out some space. So here is Gavin Murray, who has a little bit of a donut on top. Throws that one onto the right, going in, just out of the reach of Taibji, who now has to chase it, and he will shepherd that one through, as looming around there was Domhnall Fogarty. And the ball is shepherded through. It's a 4-goal difference. 6-4-40 to Ireland, 2-4-16 USA. Scooter.
Just a couple of times in this last quarter, Mick Finn, number 9 there in the middle of the ground. He's got his hands on the ball at crucial moments, and it'll be interesting. He's really started to step up as the game's worn on, I suppose.
So Fisher now kicks in long, looking for Lee. Off hands, it's going to go out of bounds and over for a boundary throw. In the US really needing this first goal, and they need to do it quickly.
They're definitely looking like a side who's played 5 games in 14 days.
Yes, no, they are, and that's probably one of the only downfalls of the competition is the closeness of the games. But in the meantime, tap forward there by Walls, inside 50, comes out now, it's going to be the US. through Carpenter, goes wide, spots up a teammate in Fisher in the pocket, goes back to Carpenter. He's been really good, Carpenter. He's had plenty of the ball. Goes down the line now. Big fly there from the big fella in Dragas. Couldn't bring it in, though. Comes to Carpenter again. Should get a free kick. High contact, he will. So it'll be a free kick now to Ben Carpenter at halfback for the US.
Chippy will play that one into the middle of the ground. Mark is taken by Fisher, and he fell down. Fisher will go out to the far side, drops in front where the mark is taken by Tyebji, and really quickly that matchup, Finn has really neutralized Brian Dragas in this game, and the ball is intercepted. Here they come. Wagons, ho! Nice mark in the middle. And it's taken there, I believe, by Shane O'Sullivan, who is going to take his time. Spears that one inside 50, juggled, dropped there by the man in Brennan. Stayed with the footy, however, and the ball goes down 2-on-1. That looks like something that you'd find out of the Discovery Channel. I don't know if we should be watching that, and it'll be a ball up about 40 meters in front. Ireland 6-4-40, USA 2-4-16.
The matchup between Jeff Kramer and is it Murray from Ireland's been outstanding down there in the Irish forward line.
So Nannery now gives the handball off. A shot from deep in the pocket. That was never going to score. And it goes out of bounds on the full. And it will be brought back into play here by Brent Fisher, who's had a bit of the ball in the last 5 minutes. Certainly starting to rack up the possessions. Umpire tells you to go back over the mark. And we'll have a take two here. So Fisher now bringing the ball into play. Called the play on. Kicks long outside defensive 50. Pack flies. Unable to take the mark. Tyebji there roving the work. Did well. Got bumped off by Nannery, but still with the Americans. Going to ground there was Johnson. And the umpire calls for the ball. We'll have a ball up about 55 metres out from goal. Irish into attack.
Fourth quarter football here as Finals Friday comes to a close. Of course, we still have the two grand finals. It'll be New Zealand and Papua New Guinea at the MCG, 11:15 local time, and at 4:25 local time at Etihad, it'll be the women's grand final between Canada and Ireland. As the ball goes to ground one more time, it is locked in there. Lindfelt with a half Nelson on his Irish opponent, and we'll have a ball up directly across.
Unfortunately for the US, the last quarter started right how the Irish need. It's almost been a lockdown. No real scoring for either side.
Yeah, it's. I think, like you said, it was sort of a draw in a sense. It really was neither team getting it forward, and that's just as good as an Irish victory as the ball goes out of bounds directly across from us. Brian Barra, Scott Matheson, and Shane Fleming, glad to have your company as well here, and we hope you've enjoyed the 2 weeks of football here in and around Melbourne. The 2017 AFL International Cup drawing towards its conclusion as a big punch by Carpenter. He finds Lindfelt. Long handball in the middle for Freeman. And that's going to come all the way back. And it's going to be a free kick. I did not see what for. Maybe a high tackle?
I think he might have been dumped after he's gotten rid of the ball. So it'll be a free kick coming back to Dominic Joyce. So Joyce now just chewing up a bit more time on the clock. In fact, he's handed it off there to Brendan Brown. So Brown now goes long. High ball underneath it's O'Halloran. He's got the bandage on the head from that head knock from a little bit early in the third quarter. Pack forms, again, not coming out of there, and we're going to get a ball up. This is all good for Ireland, just more minutes and more time being taken out of the game, just placing more pressure on the Americans. So ball tapped down now, taken by Bartley, who's been good this afternoon. Shovels the handball out now to O'Sullivan. A high ball up and under. Oh, coming out hard was Murray. Couldn't take the mark, though. Right there with him was Gartwright, and Gartwright gets the kick out on towards the wing, out in the direction of Lindfeld. Oof. Went under the ball, couldn't hold it now on the deck. Little toe poke was clever, but only as far as the Irish as they go up towards half forward where Nannery marks.
So the Irish, they'll be okay with this. They've got the freezer door open. Well, that lets the cold air seep out, but it's just sort of icing everything. Put that left-footed kick in, and that one drops. Play on, says the umpire. Drops in front of Tyebji. Handballed up high into the middle. It bounces away. There is, who was that? That was O'Halloran, who dropped the footy, and then play on, says the umpire. Just got it off to the boot. Tyebji had to scramble to get to it. So too did Garthwright. Couldn't handle the footy. Everyone sits on it. Throw a blanket over 10 players. Stacks on the mill. Everyone down mushroom farming. And all of those sayings like that there. It'll be a ball up.
Now, it looks like the umpire might have Paid a free kick for diving on it there. Free kick to the Revolution.
Whoops.
So it will be the Revos with the ball. They need to do something here. They can't just kick down the line, which is exactly what they've done. They need to take a risk because at the moment they're struggling to get the ball past that centre line. They need to start trying to use the space, bring it out to the to this side of the ground because the play's been stuck over on that far side, and try to use the open space a little bit better.
They're trying to get on the M1 at like 3:30 in the afternoon. They're trying to use CityLink, and they need to use the side streets more. Once again, there was absolutely nothing in the middle of the ground here. Absolutely nothing, and they're not switching the play. They need to do that more.
Well, I'm from the country and there's never any traffic up there, so it's always plain sailing. As the ball gets taken by Johnson, he goes to the ground and we'll have a ball up still in the middle of the ground. Been playing now on 9.5 minutes here in this final term, and it is still the Irish leading by 24 points.
Interesting to see Mick Finn back there on Jason Wilhelm, really the only attacking player for the US.
Well, he was up against Dragas, and he was really neutralizing Dragas, so I think that's what they're doing. They're really sticking him in on the key forward, and Dragas has been allowed, I think he's still out on the ground, he's been allowed to pretty much patrol more of a center half forward role. Ball is in the middle, and here come the Warriors one more time, and that one's going to get
holding. It'll be a free kick to Halloran holding on.
Thank you very much as the ball comes all the way back. Score check at 6-4-40 for Ireland. 2-4-16 for the USA, and Ireland about to chisel their name in the history books. Another third-place finish for them. That one goes high up in the air. The contest forms. Out of the basket, the bread basket of Taib G, soccered on, kept in. Threw that one onto the right, into the mixer. 1-on-3. Almost taking it there again was Nannery. Ball goes to ground. Stayed with the foot 8. That was the train. Play on. And then the umpire has signaled a throw in on that far side. And the ball will come back in the play.
So ball now thrown up. O'Halloran with the tap. Went through the hands of Carpenter. Went back second effort was good, but had stripped of him there. Getting it now was O'Halloran. Little handball to a teammate who's lost it now. Ball kicked out towards half back. Trying to keep the ball in. There was Lindfeld. Can't do so. And we'll have another boundary throw in over on the far side of the ground. Here, half forward for the Irish, 11.5 minutes gone, and you think now that it's getting too far, just too big a job for the US.
They've really set that wall behind the play, so every time the US bring it out, it comes straight back in.
Be remiss if I didn't point out John Loring, my head coach for the Philadelphia Hawks, running as a runner. He played in 2002, 2005, 2008, and 2011 in this tournament. It's great to see him in 2017 helping out Tommy Ellis. Played teammates with him in 2002 and 2005. A free kick has been awarded, or rather a ball up has been awarded here as gravity takes effect, and O'Halloran jumped way too early, hit the X button too early, and then that scrambles out. Nannery found the cutting man there in Devaney. Devaney sets sail for goal. It's going to come up short. Great job by Kramer to spoil it, and Jeff Kramer, well, you got to make the argument. I would say he's probably been best on ground for the Americans up and down the park. 6-5-41 Ireland, 25-point lead to the USA, 2-4-16. Ireland look to be home.
Ball kicked in now. Gartright takes the kick in. Kick down the line. Unable to mark there was Murray. Now taken for the US by Michael Murphy. He's dragged over the line, and we'll have another boundary throw in here right in front of the commentary position at Ransford Oval. And it is the Irish. They look like they are on their way to a third place finish. They lead at the moment by 25 points. Ball thrown in. Lee gets the tap. Got it down to Carpenter. Got the handball away. Trying to go in hard there was Freeman. Now he gets the second effort. Freeman. Good smother there by Murtagh Condren. And the ball goes out of bounds and over for another boundary throw in.
Glaring to see the Irish defenders, those green jumpers back behind the ball there, just lining up and waiting for the US to win the ball and then attacking once they do.
Ball comes spinning back in the play. They have definitely put out an emerald green wall here, and the handball in for Judge. Judge is able to get that on, but to who was that? As picking that one off was 26 as they go high up into the air. That was a push in the back, not called against, not called there, and then something was called that was pushing the back.
Kicking in danger.
Thank you so much. Well, it's given to Carpenter. Carpenter will go short, and he put it in between Hansen and Judge is claimed. They're calling for deliberate. They're not going to get that at all. It'll be a boundary throw in. 6-5 plays 2-4. Ireland up by 25. How much time, Shane?
About 4 minutes to go.
Thank you.
If free kicks were worth 6 points, Benny Carper didn't have a bag, I reckon.
Yep.
So ball thrown in, Lee with the tap down, only as far as Jared Walls. Now the Irish going forward. As it's marks taken by O'Halloran. Boss just getting in the way of the broadcast there as well.
Keep it up, Danny.
Sure Kirsty would be happy with that.
Yep.
As O'Halloran now kicks inside 50. Oh, big fly there and a very good mark. About 40 metres out, almost directly in front of goal, is a man who has been very, very dominant all afternoon, Declan Nannery.
Yeah, he's just been having their way on the forward line. And you know what? Sometimes even the best defense, but a good job by Nannery. The cream has risen to the top here for the Warriors.
So Nannery now plays for Powerhouse Football Club.
Plays like his name, like his team name.
Certainly does. He's got 2 for the afternoon already, looking to make it a nice 3, and that is going to be exactly what he does. Straight through the middle. Nannery gets his 3rd. Ireland get their 7th. They go to 7-5-47, leading the US 2-4-16. Nearly 15 minutes gone, final turn.
Too much class, Scooter.
I'll tell you what, it looks like the Irish might get the bickies today. Declan Nannery's been, for me, best on ground, but it really has been since half-time. They're set up behind the ball, the Irish. Mick Finn going from centre-half forward, back to centre-half back, and just using those wise heads to really rally the troops. It's a credit to the Warriors. They've played a great game of football today.
It's their structure. They've held their structure, and the U.S. Just hasn't been able to get around it. So here we go, remaining seconds into the middle of the ground. Here is Franco. He dropped the pill. Freeman couldn't pick it up, and then he gang tackles his man there with Garthright. Stayed with the footy there was Gleason, and that one is pummeled through, and here come the U.S. Can they try and go closer through Carpenter? Nope. Nice juggling mark by Dominic Joyce, who plays for the Lee Side Lions, and they have them sewn up just like a well-made pillow up on the far side. And now they'll just take as much time as they want into the middle. And once again, it's O'Halloran in the middle of the ground. And we were talking about Kirsty. We got to, before we miss, just thank her and everyone else, AFL Victoria, AFL, for getting us situated, because the voices you've heard have come from all over Victoria, and in my case, just a little bit further. To come here and call the games for you and to put together that logistical puzzle is an amazing job. So we got to single her out, Kirsty Fitzgerald.
No, absolutely. Second that, Brian, as kick forward by Walls is off hands and through for another behind for the Irish. 7-6-48 to 2-4-16. In fact, we probably should thank and congratulate everyone that's organised this, right from the team managers, coaches from all the competing nations, as well as those at AFL House and AFL Victoria for all the good work that they've done here putting this tournament together. Of course, there is still 2 games to go here tomorrow, as going to ground there is Tybe G. Of course, the men's final at the MCG tomorrow morning between Papua New Guinea and New Zealand, and the women's between Canada and Ireland at Etihad Stadium tomorrow afternoon. Back in the back here at Ransford Oval, though, it looks like it's going to be the Irish is going to ground. There was William Gleason. And the umpire hovers, says, give it to me, and we'll have another ball up late in the final term.
Something that needs to be imparted on all of the teams is that it doesn't matter, and there's the siren, it doesn't matter where you finish. And the U.S. will be disappointed with 4th. It doesn't matter where you finish. You got a chance to represent your country in a worldwide tournament, and no one can take that away from you. Full time here. The Ireland Warriors have finished in 3rd place, the U.S. in 4th. The final score, Ireland 7-6-48 to the USA Revolution 2-4-16.
No, well done to the Irish. Just quickly running through the goal kickers. Declan Nannery, the major goal scorer, with 3. Gavin Murray and William Gleason both with 2. While the only goal kicker for the US Revolution, Ben Carpenter, with 2. But a highly entertaining game. Probably a little bit disappointing for you two boys on the from an American's perspective. But Ireland, they were very disappointed to be knocked out of the grand final on Tuesday with a kick after the siren against New Zealand. They've, in some small way, made up for it today. It'll be a small consolation to at least end their competition with a win.
Absolutely, and they looked really good, particularly in the second half there today. It's a credit to their staff and everything else. There's plenty of experience on that side, and when the game was there to be won, the Irish really stepped up. I mean, they would have been pretty devo to have to play the Revos after the result against New Zealand, kick after the siren the other day, but you know, they came back and they bounced back with what ended up being really quite a convincing win in the end here in the third place game.
No off switch on Scott Matheson, just like me. Hats off to the Irish. I approach this in a very, very straightforward manner, and the Irish are just a really, really good team. It would have been great to see them sneak in there against. It would have ended up being against New Zealand, but you know what? Hats off to both teams. The Americans, they fought hard this whole tournament. The only 2 games they've lost were to 2 very good sides. And here's a very interesting stat now, gentlemen. 6 times the USA Revolution have played in this tournament. Every single time they've ended up with exactly 2 losses.
Coincidence? Well, who
I
knows?
think not.
Well, I think that almost wraps us up here from this this final game of Grand Final Friday, and it is the Warriors defeating the Revolution 6-3-39. Sorry, I'm looking at the three-quarter time score there, 7-6-48 rather to 2-4-16 the US. Guys, thank you very much for all the work that you've done right throughout the tournament. To Scooter, mate, sensational effort today and across the 2 weeks. Brian, we're going to hear your dulcet tones from Etihad Stadium tomorrow afternoon or late afternoon calling the Women's Grand Final, and we look forward to that, and good luck to that as well, Brian.
Thank you, and good luck to you calling the game at the MCG tomorrow. Very quickly, who you got?
Well, for a tip, I'm going to go with New Zealand to beat Papua New Guinea. And a tip for you, Brian, in your game?
My game? I'm going to say, I'm trying to remember what I said in the last game. I think Ireland by less than a goal.
Oh, okay. So the upset there, Scooter. Have you got a tip for the 2 finals?
I'd say I watched New Zealand here and they really look a cut above the competition, so I'll go with the Kiwis. I must admit, I haven't seen a lot of the women's games, but the Canadian women, they won it 2 years ago, and I reckon they've got it in them to take it out again.
Well, there you go. There's the tips. We'll hopefully you join us tomorrow for the grand finals. The men's at 11:15, the women's at 4:25. But that wraps us up here from Royal Park for the 2017 International Cup AFL Series. Thanks for joining us, and see you tomorrow.